Seeing extraordinary pictures from Egypt. The Egyptian army has ousted President Mohammad Morsi, and if you didn't know better, you would think what we're looking at is New Year's Eve with laser lights and fireworks going off. Thousands of people. It looks as though there are big celebrations. Let's cross now to our correspondent over there in Cairo. Brett Mason from SBS joins us. Brett, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys, from Tahrir Square in Cairo.
It looks quite amazing. We're seeing fireworks and laser lights, as I just said. It looks like a massive celebration.
It makes New Year's Eve in Australia look pretty tame. I've got to give the Egyptians that. The military helicopters have been circling for about 2 hours now. They hover low over the crowd. There's probably tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but certainly tens of thousands of protesters in Tahrir Square. Those helicopters have been hovering and dropping bunches of Egyptian flags down to them. They're letting off flares and fireworks. They're cheering and chanting, of course, celebrating, bizarrely, just a year after they elected him with a 51% share of the first democratically held elections in the country's modern history. They're celebrating him being ousted out of office by the military. Mohammad Morsi is, we understand, at an undisclosed location, and the commander of the Constitutional Court will assume the presidency tomorrow morning. This has been a very quick and swift coup. These protests have only been going for 4 days. Last time around, it took 18 days to oust Hosni Mubarak.
Brett, what triggered this uprising? You said it's been so swift, and I suppose we can sort of counterbalance it against the ongoing problems in Syria. What's been the trigger for this, and why has it been so swift?
There's been a lot of unhappipiness with the Muslim Brotherhood. That is the party of which Mohammad Morsi was the leader of. That party was founded in the 20s and was founded with the sole purpose of seizing power here in Egypt. It took them a very long time to do that. But the party has failed to impress the working class. A lot of people here who had expected a lot more from the government have been very unhappy. And people that I've been speaking to in Tahrir Square today say that the racial divide was noticeable, that they're unhappy with many of the policies of the Muslim Brotherhood, and ultimately the military told the nation on television, on state television in the last hour or so, that Mohammad Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood had failed to meet the expectations of the people, and they had no choice but to remove them from office and form this interim government, suspend the constitution and call early elections. But those elections could take 9 months, possibly up to a year to happen. So while the ousting and the coup itself has been swift, the democratic vote that follows will probably take a little bit longer.
And how long do you think these celebrations will continue on? They're at their peak, I guess, at the moment. Will it just be a one-day thing, or will it continue on for a while?
Well, I was here in 2011 when Hosni Mubarak was ousted in the exact same spot. I stood there today, actually, this announcement was made, and those celebrations lasted several days, so I would expect to see the same thing here. This, though, is different in the sense that on the other side of Cairo, the pictures that you've been seeing from Tahrir Square, that's the anti-government protest, but there is also a pro-government protest taking place on the other side of Cairo. That's a very large protest too, and that protest, it's the complete opposite. The people there are very angry, they're upset, some of them have been crying, they supported President Morsi. They're very unhappy. So what you've got is one side of town celebrating, the other commiserating, and the military is sort of caught in the middle to make sure that both of those groups are kept happy and both of those groups are kept apart, because there are fears that there could be violence. Don't forget, 16 people died here yesterday, and the fear now is that there could be more violence in the coming days as people vent their anger and also celebrate what's happened here.
Brett, if it took so long to rid from Egypt of President Mubarak, and a democratically elected president comes in like Mohammad Morsi, are you able to sort of put a little snapshot as to what the Egyptian people, the type of leader, what do they actually want?
Well, I think the overriding message that I got from people today is they want someone young. They want someone young who represents the Egyptian working class. That's a very difficult thing to get because, forming a democracy is not an easy process. Having elections forming brand new political parties takes time. And obviously, after the last coup, people here really wanted that process to begin as quickly as possible. And perhaps what they're realising now is that maybe they should have taken a bit more time and allowed political parties and grassroots organisations to form. They want someone young that represents the views of Egypt and can also unite this nation. I think the Muslim Brotherhood, from the I've been speaking to, failed because it was a party to an extent based on faith, and that has caused some angst amongst the community here. So I think they're really looking forward to a leader who can bring the nation together, and hopefully the next celebration in Tahrir Square will involve all Egyptians, not half of them who didn't vote for President Morsi.